All right. For today, I wanted to finally check out Spiffing Brit's Spire 2 video. I have put off watching this on my own time. I wanted to do this, and this is a game I really do enjoy. Ironclad, such a very straightforward, easy character, and he's been that way since the first one. He's very standard, straightforward, and I'm curious if he's going to be using which character he's going to be doing this with, because I don't know which one. Because usually this means he's broken the game in some way, or he found an infinite. I know Ironclad had Barricade, and you could just build up your block, or with uh, some very fun silent moves.
Hello there,
I'm
ladies and
curious.
gentlemen.
Oh, and if you like his video, make sure to go and subscribe and give him a like. And let's get into this.
Today you shall witness me breaking the hearts of the devs at Megacrit as I completely destroy their new hit game, Slay the Spire 2. I would like to think that this shouldn't be too difficult as I've sunk hundreds and hundreds of hours into Slay the Spire.
It is like that, honestly. Like, if you enjoyed this type of game, you can't stop. You're snorting that thing.
Monster Train, and basically every roguelike card game you can imagine. So naturally, when the devs
I forgot they made a board game, card game kind of thing. I completely forgot about that.
every roguelike card game you
That's so cool. I completely forgot that they were doing this.
can imagine. So naturally, when the devs dangle a sequel to Slay the Spire in front of me, I'm of course going to jump at the opportunity. Powered by the fuel of Yorkshire Gold and my crippling addiction to video games, I've not stopped playing this since it released. Luckily for me, the game is still in early access and has lots of bugs, infinite builds, and messed up game mechanics for me to play with.
Don't worry, they won't be taking out those infinites. I mean, they did nerf some, but they are still there, and they are beautiful if you can get the build going.
Think of me like a truffle pig looking for exploits. So grab yourself a nice warm cup of tea, give the video a like, and sit back and relax as we find out if Slay the Spire 2 is a perfectly balanced video game with no exploits at all. For the American audience, that was sarcasm. So welcome on into the game. For those of you who've played Slay the Spire, this will be like riding a bike. When you press play, the game generates a random seed map of events, enemies, and loot for you to pick up along your path. The things you do and cards you choose affect your path moving forward, so there's basically an infinite combinations of what you can run into. As you progress through the map, the enemies scale in difficulty, and in theory things will get harder until you either die or beat the chapter 3 boss. For this run, I think it's important to point out that I have decided to play on Ascension 1 difficulty.
Very nice. I do the same thing. Well, not on Ascension, but just in general when I'm playing, I do the speedrunner strat of always hunting the elites. Wait, no, that's not the speedrunner strat, but just the strat of always hunting elites. Like, find the line with the most elites, the most campfires as well, because you want to get the relics, get the upgrades. It is the most optimal way, I would say, unless you have a very weak deck.
Because I personally believe that Ascension 1, which is technically meant to be harder than the base game, is actually easier. And the reason
I would agree.
is simple. It increases the spawn of elites. Elites are very difficult enemies that are hard to defeat, but they drop relics on their death. Relics are buffs, curses, or boosts that are active the whole time you play, which means if you're me and you want to become powerful, you want to start relic farming as soon as possible.
I think it's funny that he did do relic farming and he did this, because there is the relic, the shovel, and you can just dig relics at the rest sites.
On top of this, I've unlocked loads of relics and cards by playing the game, and this should make the whole run a lot more interesting.
Okay, that does answer my question of how, if he had played this, well, he had to have, because he was on A1. So that answers that question. So I'm now more curious who he's going to be playing as, because I was wondering if he unlocked everything beforehand, or if he was going to be doing a like first time playthrough kind of thing.
So our first
Oh, he's choosing Necromancer. Okay. I I was kind of I enjoyed this as a new one. Etsy is fun.
Encounters with the lovely six-eyed whale Niao, who lets us choose one of 3 relics: New Leaf, Booming Conch, or Silver Crucible. Normally I would think about this, but New Leaf here is actually a perfectly balanced starting option, and it even allows us to begin our exploits right away. This relic normally transforms one card into another, like making a strike a defense, or if you're lucky, a special rare card. So I'm going to choose a strike card and it will be transformed into one of these many options over here, which is good, but it doesn't break the game. We're still well within the realms of balance that the developers like. This is where arrow keys come in. By navigating
Wait, I assumed he was gonna be just save scumming, but is there something else where he can freeze the card on exactly what he wants and choose that way?
the on-screen menus with the up arrow followed by a few left arrows, I can get back to my card choices
Or is he gonna randomize every card?
in the background of the UI there. There is just one slight issue. I can highlight these other cards by
He's randomizing his whole deck. I never would have thought of that. That's actually hilarious. What an insane thing to discover for people. This is either he discovered it on his own or definitely the communities discovered it and then he looked at it and he's like, oh, now that is a tasty morsel.
pressing enter. This selects these cards and I'll keep doing it until every card except the first one has a glowing blue border on them. The game is now perceiving that all 10 of the cards have been selected to be transformed, but surely the devs wouldn't allow me to press the... That's right, ladies and gentlemen, for my
Let's see, which one did he get? Eradicates, I don't really use actually. Soulstorm, if you actually have a soul deck, that's nice. He has Spirit of Ash, that could help out if he starts getting a bunch of soul cards. Oh, he has Capture Spirit, there we go. There's some souls. Oh, it's Osty, not Etsy, or Etsy, whatever I said.
my first trick, I've taken my base starting
Okay,
deck
what
and
is the rest
gambled
of
it
them?
into the abyss, giving me a
Tickum. Oh, right, I already saw that. Enfeebling Touch I like. Not too crazy on what he could have had.
whole new starting hand full of potentially powerful cards. They are random, but luckily we've had a pretty good roll of the dice, with 3 rare cards and some very useful skills, including my favorite, Capture Spirit. So
It's a wonderful card. You get a bit of damage. It's very minimal, but it's still damage. You're making progress, and those soul cards, that is so helpful for cycling.
let's continue our run down the right-hand side of the map and meet our character, the Necrobinder. They're actually new for Slay
I said Necromance. I'm so stupid. I said the wrong one. Oh no. I have not played in, let me see. Where's Spire? In about a week, and I've only been doing the dailies, so I've kind of been slowing down on playing, but
the Spire 2. We have quite low health comparatively to other characters, but this is made up for by her trusty hand Osty, who is a summoned bone hand who absorbs the damage inflicted before it hits us, giving us a nice health buffer. Still, let's start this fight against the Sea Punk by generating some block and flinging out 2 attacks. Now you will see that Osty immediately dies, but spawns back at the beginning of every turn with 1 HP. What a lovely little chap. These starting fights are always longer with the base cards, and you can end up taking a lot of damage, but thanks to transformed cards
yeah,
like Enfeebling Touch, I can stroll through this
6-0.
combat by negating all damage the enemy would do. If that sounds unfair, I don't care, but it is the soul card here that is the most important part.
Yes, cycling. Either you have a tiny deck so you always draw the cards you need, or you have cycle this.
Part of my deck that I'm going to build around. The soul cards are gained by playing Capture Spirit, and the reason they're powerful is that they cost no energy, and they give free card draw. No energy is exactly the thing that leads to infinite builds in this game, and with the right things going on, we can potentially draw out our entire deck. So I can keep drawing until I have every single card I have in my hand, which gives me more than enough damage to kill the Sea Punk. Be gone! Right, so after this battle, we can pick up a potion, which is a one-time use item, money to be spent in shops, and cards. We get a few options, but for now I'm going.
I like friendship. Honestly, if anything, friendship and negative pulse I would choose. I think Friendship would help a bit more, but he doesn't have much cards that would use uh, Aussie to attack, so that might be a bit rough because he'd be giving Eradicates damage. Negative Pulse. Doom is okay. I enjoy it, but it's like a side grade or even a downgrade to Poison, in my opinion. I'd say side grade because as soon as the Doom counter reaches their max health or whatever their current health is, they die the next turn or the end of their turn, which I dislike that. If it was like Poison where it's at the end of your turn, I'd feel it'd be way too powerful, but yeah.
Going to choose friendship. This gives me less strength, meaning
Yeah, I figured because more energy means more infinite, more going through the cards.
I do less damage, but it gives me extra energy, which allows me to play more cards on my turn. The next enemy is the Sludge Spinner, who does nothing particularly special, and unfortunately for him, I have a Wisp, which gives me an extra energy, and Eradicate, which does 6 damage per energy spent to cast it. So goodbye, good sir. He only got one chance to attack me, and it was never going to be good enough. Now, this card choice is interesting. We can choose a really powerful card that does 27 damage, a card that buffs my hand.
Well, I know he's going to pick Poke. 0 damage. He already alluded to 0 cost cards make the infinite decks go round. And he definitely started with the other two for a reason. He's going to be picking Poke.
Or Poke. Obviously, I'm taking Poke.
Yeah.
It's a 0 mana card that's not really very good, but it's going to make me feel all the more powerful when I break the game using this, one of the weakest cards imaginable. We've drawn.
Using Poke. I'm trying to think about what the future deck look like in order to actually achieve such a thing. And I'm assuming it's going to be, of course, based around Austie and using cards that if Austie has attacked, then this card is free or so on and so forth.
Into no good cards this turn, but thanks to my soul cards, I'm going to see what I can find. Perfect, Eradicate is more than enough to kill the back enemy. And just to be harsh, I saved the Poke for last. Poke. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand that Poke is actually one of the most powerful actions a person can take.
Is he going to... Oh, is this his ad read? I don't know.
And if you would poke that like button now, I would be greatly appreciative. And I wouldn't poke you when you're down. Ooh, we've wandered upon a question mark. And landed an event. We can get a random relic and a curse that would bloat my deck, or lose some HP and gain gold. I mean, come on, I am British. And we have the first rest site of the game, where I can sit back, relax, and gain some of our lost health. Or we can upgrade a card in our deck. Yes, a singular card. Oh, developers. Right, there we go. I've selected all the...
same glitch from the beginning. As the transform that he did, and you can just immediately do all of them. I don't do this. I didn't even think about using the same thing for transforming cards. I only thought about this. I don't enjoy doing this myself because I don't want to completely trivialize the challenge or the challenge of a run. But if you don't care about that and you want to win, hey, a win is a win.
Cards in my deck, and when I now press the tick button, it has upgraded all of them. Say goodbye to game balance, and hello to God gameplay. This is only remotely possible because I drink a copious amount of Yorkshire tea, and you coffee-drinking heathens simply wouldn't be able to get on my level, so to speak. Right, we must continue. New enemy, here we go. This is definitely not just 2 gremlins stacked on top of one another. Let's negate all damage with this enfeebling touch. We can do an attack and buff up Austie a little bit. Then I will activate my trap card, Capture Spirit Plus, the upgraded version, and poke them, leaving them with 1 HP remaining, because yes, I've done this combat before, and spoilers, yes, it is 2 gremlins on top of each other in a suit, that eventually dismount, and this fat one at the back is going to try and run off with all of my money. Unfortunately for him, he's going to die. Then with a poke and another Capture Spirit, I can drain the soul out of this one too. Perfect. Yes, the developers definitely don't intend you to have a fully upgraded deck at this stage of the game, but who cares about balance? I'm the Spiffing Brit. Now, this is where I'm
Yeah,
going to start
exactly.
pivoting. I understand that a lot of players love taking all the loot, but with Capture Spirit, I'm going to try and go infinite, which means thinning my deck to make it easier to draw into my good cards. So I'll be skipping the card rewards here, and almost all of the ones in the future too. Right, we're up against our first elite. This is a high-powered, scary, and spooky terror eel. I'm going to shrink him with my Beetlejuice, so now he's just handheld eel. I'll hit him with Captured Spirit, a poke, and 11 damage. Unfortunately for Terror Eel, it isn't looking too good, for I shall eradicate him. For our first elite combat, I think that went quite well. He has dropped me this Sparkling Rouge relic, which gives 1 strength and 1 dexterity every 3 turns, which isn't bad, but as I'm trying to kill enemies before they get a chance to hit me, it isn't ideal for us. Once again, we're going to ignore the cards and move on to the bonfire. Now we have upgraded every card in our deck, so we're forced to take a little nap before we venture onto the lovely relic room. It's a 50-50 choice.
If you can get any of the other relics that he gets an option to go and do something at bonfires or at the rest sites, that would be very nice. Like dig. Like getting the shovel would be insane. Let's see if he gets it from the chest.
And I'm going to path to the left so that way I can run myself into another elite after my sleep. Okay, on to the next combat.
No.
Oh, it's the
Bronze
funky
scales.
gardener fish. These are annoying because they gain
Bronze scales actually is nice on when they do the multi-attack.
block when I attack, so you have to try and one-shot them, which is harder when there are 4 of them. But luckily for me, I have this potion that can kill one of them. Wait, that didn't blow him up. Oh, that's quite embarrassing. A misplay in a video? Surely we can edit around it. Go editors, pretend that didn't happen. Anyway, I'll weaken them so they do less damage, and just hope that I do better next turn. Right, I'm going to get some friendship, going for more energy. Osti will do an attack, then let's draw our whole hand. But we don't have enough to one-hit right now, so I'll grab some shield and end my turn. Now, let's get creative by capturing the spirit of the front guy. Poke him and Raph, then hit the back chap for 14, then we'll just buff up Soulstorm to finish the fight. Ooh, let's pick up the vulnerable potion and Red Mask, which
Red
applies weak to all enemies, which means they do less damage, which is nice. And let's have a look at the cards. Ah, yes, we do have some rare cards. This is End of Days, which is really tempting. It's one of my favorite cards in the game, but it won't allow me to go infinite. Instead, let's pick up Neurosurge, which gains energy, draws us cards, and apply Doom. And best of all, it doesn't cost any energy to play, so of course I'll be nabbing it. Right, quick explainer. Doom is a mechanic.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has to also be mindful. If he does take enough, he's already gonna upgrade all cards. He can be at high enough health, and I don't think he's gonna take over 30 plus turns to do this with his infinite. So honestly, complete value out of that.
That builds up over time and kills things at the end of their turn. Normally this is a downside, but with my Capture Spirit and Soul cards, I'll be able to play this over and over until my enemies die. I may be dead to Doom, but as it doesn't activate until I click this button to end my turn, if I can defeat the enemy, the combat ends and I walk away unharmed, which makes this a free mana and free draw card.
Well, it's still a power card. He only gets to play it once, though.
And after upgrading it at a campfire, we now get even more energy. Oh yes, this is going very well indeed. And after passing battles with no good relics or rewards and killing them all in one turn, we're about to battle the first boss. So who is our boss? The Big Fish. An interesting boss, looking currently to bloat our deck with cards that will hurt us if we don't play them. However, we've the distinct advantage of card draw, which should stop too many shenanigans. Unfortunately, my deck is already a little big and I haven't started with any of my draw cards, which is an issue, but I'm sure we can muddle through. Okay, on our first turn we still managed about 40 damage, and now the fish is ready to throw back at us, and yet again I've missed all of my draw cards.
That is the worst feeling. When you have these decks, you need to draw just one card specifically, or just like any set of your cards, and they happen to be bottom deck. And your entire build hinges around like a few certain cards. And you're just like trying to stall until then.
This is getting a bit too spicy for me, so I'm gonna have to weaken him, and hopefully we can roll into draw next turn. If not, the run could end here with the boss killing me. Ah yes, perfect. Here is the Capture Spirit, which I will immediately play, and then let's poke. I'll then rifle through my deck until I come across Eradicate, which should actually do the job after I use the Wisp. Oh my god, I didn't calculate it. I didn't calculate it. He's still on 6 HP! Unless I...
There it is. I was to say, unless he gets poked back, which he knows he can. He knows that he could draw it if he just used Soul, since his deck is now just 2 cards in there, or I think it was 3 when he used Soul.
poke you, in which case you die! Ha ha! So even the boss didn't...
Plus he had potions. Even if he didn't drop poke there and he drew the other card, he has a potion.
Land a hit on the Necromancer. Many thanks to Osty, my good boy. And though many players would tell you to take one of the rare cards dropped by the boss, it is really important we start thinning our deck. So let's continue the run and oh
Chop
my,
him,
would
right?
you look at this? Darv the Hoarder is my hero. Yes, this gentleman is perfect for us. The Dusty Grimoire is actually one of the best cards I could have in my deck right now. It costs 1 energy when played and has no active skills in the combat, but it allows us to remove a card from our deck
I don't think I've ever chosen this option, actually.
at the end of each fight, which means I'm going to take this path to thin my deck really quick and get to that infinite build. Oh, and immediately the Grimoire. Oh, let's play it. Right, then we're gonna make you real feeble so you don't hurt me so bad. Right, Mr. Thieving Hopper, what are you going to take? Sikkim. Oh no, how could you? That's one of my cards. So on the second floor, the enemies are going to be more powerful and more dangerous. There's just one slight issue. Because I'm so gosh darn powerful, with just one eradicate,
I didn't know if he was going to actually let the Hopper steal the card, and actually, he doesn't even need to pick it back up after the end. He can just leave without it.
he's dead. Now the interesting thing here is after the combat, you can take back your stolen card, but he took something I don't need. So I'll actually just leave it on his corpse, skip all of these rubbish cards, and then remove my Spirit of Ash card because where we're going, we don't need block. So in that one combat,
Yeah, I guess he's going to go for you don't need to block if you never let the enemy have a turn. Depending on debuffs on certain enemies, I'm assuming he's not going to come across those. Then he should be fine.
we managed to remove 2 useless cards from our deck. On to the next one. Oh, who are you? The Obscura. As you can see, the enemies are scaling pretty quick. Their HP is 1, 2, 3, and they're looking to summon friends into the battle, which can make this a run-ender if you don't have a decent build going into this point of the game. Thankfully, in our case, I'm just going to Neurosurge, hit you with a poke, and then pull off a Mega Eradication, leaving you on 16 HP, which means it doesn't matter if the summon comes into play, because when I kill you, they won't get to fight back. Oh, and let's remove the Afterlife from the deck. Yes, that's right, I'm the Spiffing Brit, and I just deleted the Afterlife.
The after it's Steam and EA here. What is this? This is honestly a great fucking screenshot. Hold up.
To life. You're welcome. Now my deck is down to 8 cards, and I think I'm going to change my pathing and look into this question mark. It's a shop! Shop is good.
Nice.
Oh yes, this shop has something amazing. It's the Punch Dagger. Upon pickup, we get to enchant an attack with Momentum 5. Basically, whenever we play it, it increases the amount of damage done by this card by 5 for the rest of
Okay. Okay, that's where his scaling is going to be. I was so confused what he was going to do, and he just had to get lucky and get something like this, or I don't know which other one he would have done. But yeah, that makes sense. It was either he's going to do Death by a Thousand Cuts and use poke over and over, or it was going to be something that scales.
the combat. We're of course going to attach this to poke. Yep, this is going to get very silly very quickly. Then we're going to move right into another elite battle with the Louse. He is so cute, oh my goodness. I will poke him, and then with our new effect on the card,
Okay, this is a slight tangent. I love that they made it just a giant one of him. I remember in floor 1 for Spire 1, just you can get these as like your first enemy as you start a run. And I don't know why, just having a giant one of them, I like it.
it will increase its damage every time I play it. So on Eurosurge to draw the poke again, building its damage again, and then Forbidden Grimoire into Wisp, into Eradicate to do big damage to the poor louse. So here's the thing with this.
Okay, this is another tangent. I'm now thinking if he had I think it's a weekly challenge or the daily challenge where cards from outside your deck or your character can spawn. If he got FTL, Faster Than Light, I'm pretty sure that's the one I'm thinking of. This could have been a ridiculous run too, because it just grabs all your 0 cost cards, puts them in your hand. That could have been insane.
soul cards. Because my deck is so small, I can play them to draw other cards in my deck, meaning I'm able to play the amazing poke card here multiple times in the same turn, and of course each time I play it, it increases in damage, meaning poor Mr. Louse here never stood a chance. Perfect. With our deck getting smaller, it may sound bold to get rid of that once helpful Soulstorm, but you have to trust the process. The less cards, the more poke. The more poke, the more damage. The more damage, the quicker I become an undefeatable god. We've moved into another elite room for this combat, but wait, he's giving me free energy. Well, thank you. Let me just use it quickly to poke him, get the free mana, wisp, capture his spirit, neurosurge, and hopefully poke maxing shall begin. We now have 8 energy, and we have another capture spirit which will generate more souls. We poke for 14 damage, then soul card into another soul card, and repeat until we have the same cards in our hand again. Then we can poke even more, and this loop does damage over and over at the cost of 1 mana. This might look like the infinite I've been aiming for because it is really overpowered, but it technically isn't yet there. Whilst we do have a lot of...
I'm assuming he's trying to look, hopefully, maybe for Mummified Hand, so when he plays his power card, he gets rid of every other card that has a cost, and then he can get 0 on the capture spirit, and then he can go infinite truly with that way. I'm trying to think, is there any other way? I can't actually recall.
energy, we have to burn some in order to get the soul cards. I mean, I could play poke and the soul card again, and I know that I'll immediately draw that poke, as it's the only card in my draw pile, and the elite here isn't even going to get a chance to fight at all. So, using our newfound cycle, we'll keep progressing through these battles, ignoring cards, collecting gold, and overall being unstoppable. We have done it, ladies and gentlemen. In one of the final rooms, I have found the final piece to our puzzle. Borrowed time. It applies doom and gives us energy.
Now this has raised my other question that I had before of, can he end it fast enough? Does the hand scale, or does poke scale faster than this? I never took this. Oh wait, no. Have I? Actually, maybe I didn't even unlock this card yet. I don't know. I think I only played Necrobinder like 2 times, victory, and I kind of just ended that there.
For no energy cost at all. Free energy. Yes, with nothing now in my way, I'm going to tidy this deck up a bit by removing the Eradicate, who did a lot of the heavy lifting to get us here, but now is just getting in my way. And we can smith Borrowed Time, which gives us even more free mana. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to floor 33. We are up against the insatiable, one of the most devastating, terrifying, and evil enemies, and we're going to kill it on turn 1.
Yeah, as I say, he doesn't have to worry about the escape cards bloating his deck if he doesn't end the turn.
Simply, our deck only has 7 cards in it, and we draw all of them on the first round of combat. 4 of these cards go away once we play them, so let's get them out of the way now. Forbidden Grimoire, Wisp, and technically Neurosurge, but we'll keep you around for a second longer, so we can break the game with 3 cards: Captured Spirit, Borrowed Time, and Poke. The way it's going to work is quite simple. Captured Spirit is going to hit the Insatiable, generating 4 soul cards from my draw pile. I can then use Neurosurge.
Order of operations: if he played Neurosurge earlier, he already bricked this entire thing and he has to save scum, or he just basically loses. Well, not loses, but he's now not going to have like the perfect cycle. So if he played Neurosurge like preemptively before he played for the souls, the Capture Spirit, he would have bricked.
Here to not only gain mana, but also draw those initial soul cards, which I can then use to draw other soul cards, and most importantly, draw the Captured Spirit. By doing this, we're left over with 1 more soul card than we started with. However, we have 1 less mana than we started with, which is entirely negated with the energy gained from Borrowed Time. We do gain Doom, which is scary, but we won't be ending this turn without killing the boss, which means just like the French word for don't retreat, it's functionally irrelevant. So that's
Okay. Okay. I enjoy the British banter of hating the French. Oh my god.
what we're going to do. We poke, we play Borrowed Time, we play a soul, we draw again. We generate some more soul cards, we poke, we borrow time, we draw into them, we repeat this cycle until we have our entire deck back out. Now our poke's doing 24 damage, we repeat, and you'll notice in this entire cycle I'm actually gaining mana. We're now up to having 13 mana. So the longer this goes on, the more damage poke does, the more mana we have, and the longer we can cycle over and over again. There are more soul cards building up in my hand, and we're just going to keep on playing infinitely. The enemy here doesn't get to have a turn of the game, purely because I don't want them to, and I am the god of this universe. So we're just going to keep on drawing over and over again, and now poke is going to do 54 damage, killing the insatiable before it gets a turn. Yes, you can't fight back. Your foolish hubris to even stand against the might of I, the Spiffing Brit, as I dominate my way through this tower and teach the enemies the true definition of the word hubris. Now our deck is absolutely perfect. I don't need to remove any more cards. Unfortunately, the Grimoire can't remove itself, so I'll continue smashing my enemies into the floor.
Okay, this is actually the boss I was curious about. Is this pre or post nerf? Because I was curious about how some of the how the change would be and which one he's gonna be facing. So I guess we'll see. Because if he faces an enemy where they are gated and you have to waste a turn in order to progress their transformation, if he had used too much Doom, he would lose. So now I have to see. I'm curious if does he kill it before then, where he accumulates too much Doom. I would assume so.
Or until they give in. And we have ourselves an elite, the Soul Nexus. Ooh, very spooky. Poke, capture your spirit. Wisp, borrow time, forbidden grimoire, neurosurge, and there we go, Soul Nexus. It's over. It doesn't matter now. You can just retire because I am flinging cards randomly at you in glorious fashion. Right, onwards we go into the final campfire where we can rest, and now it's time for the final boss of the game. Yes, we are up against the door. Okay, no, it's not actually the door. This is a bit of an early access placeholder, but once you defeat the door, a gentleman shall reveal himself on the other side. He is going to be by far the toughest enemy we've faced in this entire game. However, we're never actually going to end our turn. We're going to turn zero the boss. So we capture spirit on the door, we play our wisp, borrow time, and we poke. And now the fun begins, as we're going to infinitely poke down this door into a state of weakness. Alright, there we go. Mr. Door is down to 3 HP, so with one final poke, huzzah! It's the door maker. He says, who's there? He's stunned, so he won't even act on this turn. But next turn, he'd start hitting us for a huge amount of damage and then summon another door for us to fight. Unfortunately,
Yeah, so yeah, I couldn't remember if this one was that scenario or not, but yeah, he can just clean up now. He doesn't have to actually end turn at all.
for Mr. Doormaker here, he is screwed. We're going to make him weak and vulnerable. Technically, we can also go fully infinite here by drinking the Touch of Insanity and making Capture Spirit completely free to cast. At this point, we can go infinite without even using Borrowed Time. So that's exactly what...
Yeah, so just in case if he had that potion, that's why I was saying, like, if he had Modified Hand or something, he could make the Capture Spirit 0 cost, and then he didn't even need this, and he had no risk of danger to himself.
what I might as well do. We're just going to repeatedly cycle.
I'm also surprised he's not using the number keys to do this even faster. Because you can, in the settings, turn on the numbers for the hand if you want, and then you can just press the number. Like if he presses 1, it would be the first soul card. Presses 5, it'd be this soul card. And you could have been doing this like way faster.
Over and over again, generating new souls, and now Poke is doing 96 damage. Oh dear, Mr. Doormaker. I'm afraid Mr. Poke is doing 69 damage, but on your vulnerable body, that's 103. So, with just 6 cards in my deck, and only 3 that actually matter, oh, Mr. Doormaker, I think you forgot the key. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed your journey.
And just in case, he also had another life. he really set this up very well.
To the madness with me, and that you can agree Slay the Spire 2 is a perfectly balanced game with absolutely no exploits. I'm sure after this video the devs will patch everything I've done, so quickly flee, hop on, do some multiplayer with your friends, or try some of the broken exploits out for yourself before they do, and let me know how it goes in the comment section. If you want to see more content like this, then give it a like and consider subscribing. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and thank you as always to our glorious Patreons and YouTube members for supporting this channel, you majestic sausages one and all. I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day, and goodbye for now.
But yeah, so that's his video. Honestly, all the infinite decks I think are so entertaining to see when people actually manage to get them together. Because some of them you need a lot to go right, and other ones you can kind of brute force them decently well. Not like perfect, but to a pretty strong degree. And the other thing is you can just fish for the like better openings or best openings to give yourself the best chance at getting to these points. But anyways, that'll be it for later. Make sure to subscribe and give him a like if you enjoyed his content. And that I think we're done here. We out.